Good afternoon and welcome to Liquid Lunch with the Regional Water Authority here on 103.5 WNHH. You can watch us anytime on the New Haven Independence YouTube page or download us as a podcast from Apple or Spotify. I'm Kevin Watsey. I'm the Director of Public Affairs for the Regional Water Authority, and I'm a water nerd, and today we are going to talk all about the water company. What specifically about the water company? Well, it's a show that we've done some variation of a couple of times in the past year or so. And that's talking about customer service, or as we call it at the water company, our customer care department. I've invited Bridget Hosky on the show today. She is our new director of customer care. She's been with us now since January, right?
Yes.
January, yeah. And I thought it'd be good to have Bridget come on to talk about the RWA's customer care department, maybe answer some frequently asked questions that we get at the water company. But more importantly, as our new director of customer care, I wanted her to share kind of her vision of customer care and customer service, and her vision specifically for the Regional Water Authority's customer care department. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But if you're a frequent listener of the show, you know that we always start the show by letting our guests tell us their story. So Bridget, welcome to the program, and please tell me and our listeners your story.
My story?
Yeah, what's your story? How did you get to where you are right now?
Oh, okay, because I was going to say my story started many, many years ago, but how did I get to the Regional Water Authority? I was in human services for many, many years. From there, I took the jump to work with a wireless company that I enjoyed very much. I did that for about a decade. And then there was an opening at a local utility company, and I thought it would just be a really great idea. There was a lot of security in working for utilities. So I made the jump. It was 10 minutes away from my house, so it couldn't have been any better. I worked there for a little over a decade again, and my daughter-in-law challenged me to kind of spread my wings and jump a little bit further than where I was. And I just happened to see an opening at the Regional Water Authority, and I thought, I think I could do that. I think I could do that. It was, again, really close to my house. I applied, and they were kind enough to give me the job.
You were kind enough to join us.
Yes, most definitely. And it has been a really great experience. I've loved it. The people are great. And so here I am at the Regional Water Authority.
So you've really spent 20 plus years with utilities, right? Because I consider wireless to be utility. It's telecom.
I do as well, yes. Lots of customer service.
Lots of customer service. It's kind of a utility in its own world. And then you were with a different utility, which,
gas and electric. Avangrid, yes.
You're swinging for the cycle with utilities. You've done gas, electric, telecom, and now water, and hopefully water's your last stop.
I plan on it being my last stop,
on this utility journey that you're on.
Definitely.
Well, let me ask you this. So, you and I talked about some of the questions I'm going to ask you, but hearing your history made me think of this question. And I've known a lot of people in my career who have done multiple utilities, gas, electric, water. I'll ask you what I ask them. A lot of it the same, a lot of it different. So you've only been in water not even a year yet, but a lot of difference between gas, electric, and water from your customer care perspective?
It is. I mean, when you think about wireless has taken the place of landlines for the most part. So I was there during that revolution when people were leaving the landline business and becoming more dependent on the wireless. Went to electric. Everyone needs electricity. Everyone needs gas. It heats homes. But coming over to water and the Regional Water Authority, it's smaller, more intimate. The electric and gas, larger companies. But the Regional Water Authority, I don't think I ever realized about water. You turn on the faucet, there's water. You just don't realize how essential it is to everyday life and how important it is, and you kind of take it for granted. I'm sorry to say, I just never thought about it. It was just always there. And the customers are the same, but the customers aren't the same, but usually in Connecticut you have the same customers for all
Right.
companies, but it's very intimate. It's personal. It's, water is life. And it's one of the biggest things that I've learned working for the Regional Water Authority. And I've learned not to really take it for granted, not to just assume it was always going to be there. And I never realized what actually went into that drinking water that I'm putting in my cup or, making my coffee with. It was brushing my teeth with. So it's been very enlightening. I'm sad to say that on my first 20 years of life, I didn't realize. I'm not 20, but yeah, it's been an eye opener.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right? Because I'm going to be actually 47 next week, and when I think about it, I've never had a water outage, and I've lived in 4 states now, and I'd be willing to bet most of our listeners and most people in the area and even around the country have never had an extended water outage because the water just comes out. You turn a faucet on, the water's there, and you don't think about it. And me as a communications person, it's like I want people to think about it. I want people to think about where their water comes from, but I don't want them to think about it too much, because if they're thinking about it too much, then there might be a problem. Like they might not have water, and now they are thinking about it. But yeah, it's an interesting interesting place, right? And you can, I think people are used to their electric going out, right? There's a bad storm, the electric goes out for an hour or two. The electric company fixes it. They do a good job of fixing it, but you kind of have become used to it.
Correct.
The story, oh, there's a storm coming. You might lose electricity for an hour or two, but with water, I think it's very disruptive to people's lives because they don't know what to do.
Right.
And for the folks who, they do lose water for one reason or another, you and your team are the ones who hear about it, right?
We are the ones who take the calls, yes.
And we'll get into that a little bit. But as I mentioned, you are the new Director of Customer Care, and I just wanted to have you on the show and talk about kind of your vision for customer care and your vision specifically for the RWA's customer care team. I'll just kind of leave it very open-ended and ask you. It's almost like a job interview.
It is a job interview. So I have a really great team. I could not be more proud, and I'm sure a lot of people say that. I couldn't do what I do without them. And when you take a leap, when you go from one company to another, there's some hesitation that goes with that. So, but when you leave what you used to know to go somewhere where you don't really know so much, people, customer service, but you don't know water. So I've been really, really lucky. My customer service reps, are some of the best in the business, and I would definitely put them up against anyone else's customer service reps to have a contest to see, who does it better. We have agents who've been working for the Regional Water Authority their whole careers.
40 plus years.
Yes, 30 plus years, close to 40. And that is just a testament to their commitment to their customer base and to their communities. But, they know that water is so important, and lots of times, we take it for granted. So when they do call in, when there is a disruption in water, if there's, discolored water, which happens, sometimes if they're building a building next door to you and you have a house and a house is going up and they're pounding on the ground, you may get discolored water. And, people get concerned with that. They want to know and make sure that everything is okay. So they call into our customer service reps, and our reps inquire about, what's going on in your environment and what could be going on around you that could be causing that to happen. So they resolve those issues. If needed, they put in a ticket to roll a truck to determine what's going on. But it is, they don't get a lot of recognition for what they do day in and day out. So I want to let them know that I know and I see them, and the community sees them. And customer service is a little bit more than just saying hello.
Not a lot of people calling to say thank you.
I want to let them know that I know and I see them, and the community sees them.
They're having an issue. It's really incumbent upon the agent who answers that call to ask the right questions to kind of at least try and get an idea of what's really going on.
You really do, because sometimes you're just not sure. You don't know why the water, if the water's not coming in, you don't know what could be happening. Was there a main break? Did the business maybe have to shut down a main because they're doing work somewhere and they may not have gotten the notice or saw it in their email or picked up the phone call that was letting them know? Because when we're doing work in the community, we send out notifications, and life is busy, customers are busy, and they may just think it's, just a random little alert from the Regional Water Authority, but we're actually letting you know that we could be doing some work. So when they do call in, there's all that, you want to let them know you're there to help them, you want to let them know you're there to resolve their situation, but you have to sometimes uncover what's really going on. So you have to investigate and ask them clarifying questions so you can give them the right answer and not just tell them what you think is happening, but what you know is occurring.
Right, or even figure out internally which department you may need to partner with to figure out what's going on.
That is the truth, because there's so many different departments and they handle different situations, and so you got to know who to reach out to and to find out how do you get your customer the information that they need.
Yeah, and sometimes our customers are our eyes and ears out in the system, right? We may not know we're having an issue until a customer calls and tells us that they're having an issue at their house.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, so we always do encourage folks to call us if you think you're having an issue with your water service, call us, because we may not know at that point.
We may not know, absolutely.
You may be the person who calls us and tells us something that gets us out there an hour earlier than
Definitely.
we may have figured it out on our own.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a big system, right? We have 1,700 miles of main out there that we manage.
It's insane when you think about it. Like that's a lot of pipes, a lot of water, and sometimes things happen and we don't know. So when a customer calls to let us know, it's really important.
So, yeah, thinking about your nine months or so, do you see opportunities? There's always opportunities for improvement, right? Nobody's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
No company's perfect. No department within a company's perfect. Like, what do you see in the next years, like one or two big opportunities to make improvements to benefit, the customer?
Interesting that you're saying that. I was just on a call with my manager and trainer today. There are definitely some things that we want to do. When a customer calls in and they may be having some struggles with paying their bill, or they may not have been able to keep up with their payments. Those are serious situations, and we want our customers to know that, we're in it with them. We're going to work out with them a payment plan, or we're going to talk to them about Dollar Energy. We do have a program that you can apply for. It's called Dollar Energy, and if you're in need of help, we can give it to you. We want our customers to know that our past due, our goal is never to shut off service. Our goal, or my philosophy is we want to figure out a solution to keep your water running. Not always running, that's bad. Don't keep your water running. Turn it off. Definitely when you're brushing your teeth, you want to turn the water off. But we want you to be able to turn the faucet and the water to come on. So we want to provide long-term solutions for our customers. We want to find out, what we can do to assist you. So those are some of the things that we want to start proactively offering our customers and working with them to, again, keep services on for the long term, not short incremental kind of things, but long term, for the next year, and to get accounts stable so that you don't have to call us back. Another thing, would be is we want first contact resolution. We don't want customers to have to call us time and time again to solve a problem. So those are things that we're looking at. They used to call it first call resolution, but as we know, customers email, customers call in. There's different ways that customers are reaching out to us. So we want to be able to solve their problem the first time around. We don't want them to have to contact us again because we didn't get it right the first time.
That's awesome. And you talked about turnoffs, and I want to be clear, like, when the water company turns off a water service for non-payment, that's literally the last resort. We try and we try and we try, and that is literally the last resort for us. And is it fair to say that if I'm a customer and I'm, maybe I lost my job, I'm struggling to pay the bill, if I call you and your team and kind of explain my situation, it's fair to say you're not going to turn my water off?
Absolutely. Our customer service agents are experts. They want to serve you and give you options and come up with a solution that's agreeable. We don't want to force you into anything, but we want to set you up for success, because your success is our success. Having a reputation of shutting people off, that's not healthy. What we want is to have a reputation where we go above and beyond to serve our customers. And if you have a past due balance, we want to proactively offer you payment arrangements, because that's going to bring your account current and that's going to sustain your service. And again, we have Dollar Energy, and we want our customers to be educated on that, for them to know that there is a program out there. It's $175. You get it once a year, and we apply that to your bill. So that's a good chunk of change that we will readily give any customer that applies and qualifies. You do have to qualify for it, yes. So if you have lost your job, then we want you to call us, and we want to be able to help you.
And there's information on the RWA website, rwater.com, about that program if you want to find out more. Or you can call one of Bridget's call reps, and they'd be happy to walk you through that. You also brought up first call resolution, and do we track that now? Does the RWA? It seems like a hard thing to track, and I'm asking because I honestly don't know. I should.
It is first call resolution. It's FCR. I like to say contact again, because we do emails as well. We have where you can email into our customer service reps, our senior reps. They do a fantastic job answering customers' inquiries. But we want to get it right the first time. We want to answer that email one time with you not having to follow up and ask again, because that's not FCR, that's not first contact resolution. And sometimes, you may have to call us back, but what we would do is we'd pull stats. We'd call and see, like, how many times did this customer have to call in? Is it easy? No. But is it a best in class? Yes. Is it a best practice? Absolutely. Because we want our customers not to have to worry about, let me call the RWA again on my lunch hour tomorrow, and I got to call them back on Friday during my break. Who wants to spend their free time doing that? I don't. I want to eat during my lunch.
Yeah, it's one of those things. When I think about customer service and customer care, it's in my world, it's so rare that you get such great customer care that you actually tell other people about it. And and recently, I've had a couple of customer service experiences that were so exceptional that I actually did tell other people about it. Like, 'cause I was so stunned. I shouldn't be stunned, but I was so stunned, and they weren't utility related at all. But I was so stunned at how good the customer service was that I got from these two companies that I actually told other people about it. And to me, that's kind of the goal, right? Is to provide such good customer service that our customers are telling other people, like, you would not believe how great the service I got from the RWA was.
And that is what we want. And that's what you want to hear from the customer. So if the customer's like, thank you so much, I really appreciate everything you did today, those accolades go a long way with your customer service rep, because they may have had customers that called in before you, and it wasn't a happy experience for whatever reason, but the customer service reps really do a good job in trying to resolve customer issues when they call in. If it's, meter related, if it's, bill questions, they do go above and beyond, and I couldn't be more proud about that. It's good to hear, and it's something that we want to even get even better at. We want it to just be the RWA has best in class customer service, and that is, we want to be the standard.
Yeah, and this is a good time to mention, and I'm going to read this directly to make sure I get it right. In 2025, the RWA actually was rated the #1 water company, mid-sized water company in the Northeast, according to JD Power survey.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, that really is, because the wireless company I used to work for, that is who they rated their how good they were doing, is what JD Powers was saying about them. So I was very impressed. I was tickled pink. I was like, this is fantastic. Like, bravo.
Yeah, we were all very, very proud of that. What would you say, if like, what's the #1 call that your folks are getting? Big picture. Is it billing? Is it service related? What's like the #1?
I would say right now, the call drivers are our customer portal. We had a huge system launch. Yeah, I'm jumping into your questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
But we had a really huge implementation of a new system, and there were just some things that RWA did that was best in class, was in the best. What they did was for the betterment of their customers. So we had auto pay and on our old system, and when we transferred over to the new system, we didn't transfer the customer information. I mean, that is just not what you should be doing. So we started at 0. Customers had to re-enroll, and as much as you try to get the information out and educate customers, you're our communications guy. Some of it got missed, and some things customers misunderstood, and and again, we probably could have done a better job at it. Hindsight's 2020. Lessons learned on how you do better going forward. But those are still some of our highest call drivers and contacts, is around, how do I get back into the portal? Why isn't my auto pay working? And we're saying, well, we're sorry, you have to re-enroll. What do you mean? I was enrolled. And we're like, yes, but we stopped that. And again, that was to protect their information, right? You don't want to go from one company and us transfer your proprietary information and, credit card information to the new company. So we did take a hit on that, and trying to get our customers acclimated to, doing it the new way. So that's really the call driver, and getting, especially our larger commercial accounts who might have 10 different accounts, landlords with different, 5 or 6 different properties. They're like, okay, I need to combine all of these accounts under my one account in the portal. So those are really our biggest call drivers right now, is trying to handle those customers and get them feeling comfortable about the situation they're in, and setting them up for, again, success going forward.
So that system, folks who listen to the show, we actually did a whole show on the rollout of that system back in February. It rolled out in April. And as you said, we did a lot of communications around that to try and get our customers ready for that transition. And as you also said, lessons learned. We could have done better in areas and worded things differently. My hope is that you and I are both retired by the time the RWA goes through another thing like this.
Yes.
Because, hopefully these are lessons, that we can pass on to the next generation to learn. But, so we are, 4 or 5 months in now?
Yes.
Let's talk about it 2 ways. How's the new system working out for your agents now that they're, I would assume, fully acclimated to it? And for customers, now you said customers are still calling with questions and all that, but are the agents finding it easier or better than the old system now that they're used to it? Yes,
so they really are. It was a big change. I came in right before we were launching it. It is the creme de la creme, right? It is
designed specifically for utilities.
Yes,
it's not just an off-the-shelf.
Correct. Very specific to water too.
Yeah.
So it was like nothing I'd ever seen before. I was completely impressed. And a lot of what the new system does, it just increases our efficiency. It increases our agents' ability to handle customer calls and the emails and things like that more efficiently, have customers on the line a shorter amount of time, and just give customers time back in their day, instead of what used to take us 20 or 30 minutes to do now takes us 10 minutes, sometimes 15. And that's life-changing. It just means we're getting to other customer calls quicker. Our average speed of answer is going down. We're getting to customers quicker than we used to. And the system is just fantastic. It's the AI capability. We can see the customer's journey. So if a customer calls in and says, you're having an issue with your IVR, I was pressing 4, but I kept going to, for example, they kept going to the payment IVR side of it. We could actually look immediately and see what's going on and what they pressed, and get a complete printout of that, and send that over to whomever we need to do, whoever, takes care of that, which means that the next customer that calls in is going to have that same issue. So we're able to resolve issues really fast. Look up past conversations. If a customer called in and said, I spoke to so-and-so last week, they were telling me, I could set up a payment arrangement. I don't remember what the offer was. You could, instead of like, let me have that call pulled and see what happened, you could just go into the customer account and see the entire conversation.
Oh, wow.
So it is very user-friendly, and it just gives us all time back in our day, makes us highly more efficient than we used to be.
That's great. And IVR is that first thing you hear when you call us, the press 1 for this, press 2 for that. That's inside baseball speak from Bridget.
I know,
IVR.
I shouldn't be using. I apologize.
That's okay.
I wish I knew what IVR stood for. I don't even know that I know.
Yeah, I don't either. We just all call it IVR. We should probably know what that stands for. Are there new tools in this system that you wish more customers were using, or new features?
Well, some of the things that you can do, we have the pay online. You can actually, go online and make your payment, sign up for auto pay, which is, an automatic system that you don't have to worry about. It just takes the payment from you, so you don't ever have to worry about paying late. You set the date and the time and the due date on that, which is fantastic. And if you don't have time to call in, you can we have a chat box where we have the AI capability, what is it?
Artificial
I was going to say automatic intelligence.
Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, and can answer really basic questions for you, give you information, so you don't have to sit on a phone or have a phone to your ear, which is great. What else do we have? And pretty soon we will be launching our chat with live agents, which I'm super excited about.
Oh, that's great.
We'll be able to do that, so you could text, send in a text or go online to our online portal or your phone app and have a conversation and answer any of the questions, at your leisure. If, you're eating lunch and you got your mouth full of, a tomato sandwich, you can just text the stuff in. So we'll be launching that in the next couple of months, and that's really exciting. Some of the other things that we're going to be doing is having more survey. We're going to be launching customer surveys closer to the call, like within 72 hours of you talking to us. We're going to launch a survey to find out about your experience, and and part of that survey is going to be, if we didn't resolve your issue, if I'm talking to you and you get off the phone and you're like, I don't think Bridget told me what I needed to know. In that survey, when we survey you, if you're like, no, I don't think my issue is resolved, part of raising the bar, creating a better customer experience, we're going to reach back out to you and figure out, what it is that Bridget got wrong, or what it is that Bridget didn't give you as far as an answer, and close that gap. So those are some of the things that we're going to be rolling out in the next couple of months, early 2026, to just, again, raise the standard of customer service excellence at the RWA. Not that they're not doing a fantastic job, but like you said, there's always areas for improvement, and that's where we want to go.
And it's one thing to know, well, oh wow, 90% of our customers were satisfied when they hung up the phone, but you and I have talked about this. What about the 10% that weren't?
10%?
It's not enough to just know there were 10% who weren't satisfied.
Right.
We should be trying to clear those issues up too. So it's so great to hear that we're going to be putting in a mechanism to at least attempt to clear up that group that doesn't feel that they receive the service that they want. One of the things I'm excited about under the new system is there's so many more places customers can go now to pay in person if they want.
Yes.
Under the old system, I think we had 17 or 18 locations, and it was fluctuating month to month based on those locations. But now it's literally thousands across the country. And I wanted to give you a chance to talk specifically about the Walmart here in New Haven, because I know that's a very popular place for our customers to go pay their bill, and I know that there are some issues. So do you want to talk a little bit about that at a high level and let us know where we're at?
Well, the issue is resolved, so you could definitely go to the Walmart in New Haven right off of Exit 8. There was some concerns in regards to making payments there. There, unfortunately, is a regional water authority in another state and town that matched our name, and some of their agents were selecting that instead of the regional water authority in New Haven, so it caused some problems. We reached out to the store manager, absolutely fabulous, really, took our concerns to heart. We said you were impacting our customers' ability to make payments, and they resolved it very quickly. We said, could you put up a sign to let our customers know that you're open for business, because they were down for about 30 days, and it was concerning, and our customers were not happy. So it took a little time to get it resolved and to identify, what was going on. We didn't want to jump in, make hypotheticals. We wanted to drill down and figure it out, and Walmart worked with us. We figured it out. So payments are back up and running at Walmart in New Haven, or Orange, Milford. You could go anywhere, but the concern was at New Haven, yes.
Yeah, the New Haven one. And let me ask you this. When somebody calls our customer service, they're not calling another state or another country, right?
No.
They're calling Sergeant Drive in New Haven.
They are, yes. They are calling 90 Sergeant Drive, most definitely. There are times, though, I don't want to mislead anybody, before 8 and after 5, if you call in, you will get our customer service answering service. We do have them doing that for us, but during the day, 8 to 5, it is 90 Sergeant Drive. Our customer service reps are there.
So if somebody calls... 9 o'clock at night, they have no water. How's that call generally handled? So we have an answering service, right? We don't have 24/7 customer service live like our own people.
But we have an answering service.
We have an answering service. So they call and they tell the answering service, I live on 123 Main Street, I have no water. What happens to that call from there?
They send that notification over to our control room. In the control room, they're staffed 24/7, 365. So they will roll a truck and identify what needs to happen to get that customer water running again.
Right, because we do have on-call field service folks.
Everybody, yes.
That's a 24/7 on-call, and if you call and tell us you don't have water...
We react.
And we're not aware of anything in your area that's going on, we will send somebody out there to take a look and figure out what's going on. It's a little different, right? Because when my electric goes out, sometimes I'll just peek out the window to see if my neighbors have power, and if they do and I don't, then I get really upset because I know that it's a me problem.
Yes,
not an electric company problem. It's a little harder with water. You can't just peek out the window to see if your neighbors have water. So Let's see. What else do we want to talk about with customer service? I mean, I will say, from a communication standpoint, you and I partner together a lot. We work on messaging, and it's a two-way street. You'll let me and my team know what you're hearing, and maybe we can craft the right messages, figure out what's going on. But we can also let you know, like, what we're seeing on Facebook. Folks are not shy to tell us what's going on Facebook. And so the world has really kind of changed with the ways customers interact with us. And I'd be curious to know, from your perspective, again, 20 plus years, what do you think has changed the most with customer expectations since you first started doing customer care and customer service?
Customers want to be in the know, and they expect the companies to get the information out there, right? You got to have Facebook. You must have an Instagram. I'm waiting for the day the Regional Water Authority will have a TikTok account. I don't know.
Not going to happen. Our IT people won't let us do it.
Oh my gosh, yes. But I just think customers want to know. I mean, there's millions of ways to communicate, so they don't expect not to know. So part of, educating our customers is for them to register, for Red Dot, like that's out there.
Code Red.
Red Dot. I'm sorry, Code Red. What is that? I don't know. Code Red. I didn't even get it right. My mistake. Code Red. I mean, that is a way for customers to be educated. But as you said, we've gotten feedback from customers, and I bared witness to us making changes immediately about when we're out in the community and we're going to be shutting lines down to do work, or to, update valves, or to put in new piping. I love hearing how our guys in the field, our field techs, go out and knock on doors to educate customers, to let them know that this is what we're doing. Regional Water Authority is still so hands-on. I mean, I am just amazed at the level to which they will go to educate their customers, because you don't necessarily find that at the higher level with the bigger utilities. They send emails. They do. We do update our webpage, as do other companies, but that that good guy knock on the door to tell the customers, you just can't buy that anymore. And I think that is just fantastic. I was wowed when I heard that we'll go out there and knock on 70 doors to let people know, hey, we're going to turn the water off for a little bit. So just wanted to make you aware of it. That's fantastic. Yeah,
I totally agree. As I've said on the show before, this is my third water company. My first two are the two largest water companies in the world. And so when I came here, I like you, was a little stunned that we're still doing things, the way they should be done, with a personal touch. Like you said, knocking on the door, leaving a door hanger, not relying on the technology that people sometimes miss. Oh, well, we sent you an email, or, we did this Code Red phone call. No, we're still knocking on doors to the extent, we can. We're knocking on doors. We're talking, our supervisors are out there talking to the neighbors as they come up, even calling people back, if people are calling, the control, especially off hours,
Right.
Our supervisors will sometimes call people back personally, tell them what's going on. And it's just, it's a personal touch that
you
has kind
don't
of gone
find,
away.
Yeah. And I think probably, I remember coming in and seeing customers in our lobby. You can come to 90 Sergeant Drive and, make a payment. And some people come in there faithfully. The cashier knows them by name. She knows who they are. And if you're struggling or having an issue, you come in, and if you want to talk to somebody from customer care, our senior reps will come down and talk with you in the lobby and, resolve your situation, answer any questions you have. You don't really, I don't know what other company does that anymore. What water utility company? Yes, you go into a wireless store, but you don't find utility companies that still have their front doors open to their customers, which is just amazing. It is just amazing. And we're not moving away from that anytime soon. That is who the Regional Water Authority is. Their doors are open.
Absolutely. That was very well said. So I wanted to ask you one last question before we move on to the 5 unrelated questions. Is there is there anything I haven't asked you, or any kind of thing you want to talk about that I haven't brought up, like that you're itching, like why won't he ask me about this?
Oh, what could that be? No, I don't think so. I again want to, remind people that, water is important, and one of the things we've changed at home is shut the water off when you're brushing your teeth. Turn it off, and that it is such an overlooked utility. I'm not sure why, but we are, and I think the ability to which we keep the water running is just unreal. I mean, I'm literally impressed by it, and I think that the Regional Water Authority and the people that work there are the best in the business. That they're definitely best in class, which is evident by the award that you guys got. I mean, I was there when we got it, but it wasn't from any work I actually did yet. So
yeah, and I would just say too, over the summer we launched public tours of our Lake Whitney water treatment plant as just a test to see if there'd be interest in it, and we did 7 dates, and those 7 dates filled up in 3 days. The tours were full. The people who came through the plant on those tours were just overjoyed at being able to see how their drinking water was made. And if you're listening out there and you either didn't know about the tours or weren't able to get in on one, we are looking for some dates in the fall to do some more of those tours, because we do want people to see how we take water out of nature and get it to your door, safe, clean, and for about a penny a gallon.
Definitely.
People always tell me, water should be free, and I said, well, you're not really paying for the water. You're paying for us to, pump it, treat it, and deliver it to your house, clean and safe.
Clean and safe, yeah.
And it costs about a penny a gallon. It's a pretty good deal.
Definitely, yes.
If you ask me. All right, so let's talk 5 unrelated questions. These are questions that have absolutely nothing to do with anything we've talked about over the past 45 minutes. It's just questions to get to know Bridget better. First question, do you have any pets?
I do have pets, and they make me crazy. I have a dog named Toby. I have 2 cats, the brother and sister, Blue and Titan. They are the love of my lives and the bane of my existence. They have anxiety whenever I leave the house and go anywhere. They act at the fools, but
and
we
what
love
kind
them.
of dog is Toby?
Toby is a Zushan. He's half Bichon, half Shih Tzu. He's a teddy bear dog. He's the love of our lives, very spoiled. His name is actually Toby Jonathan. That's his government name. Yes, everyone has a middle name.
Yes.
Toby Jonathan, Titan Jonathan, and then Blue. Blue doesn't have a middle name, but
Blue.
Yeah, but her name's so cool.
Okay, I like the you got 2 Jonathans in there.
I know
that's fun. Who's your favorite band or musician?
Who is my favorite band or musician? I love Motown. Can I just tell you I love Motown? My mom raised me on Motown. It's my most favorite genre. I will stop the presses when Ain't No Mountain High Enough comes on. I will stop and I will start singing. You give me a little Temptations, Four Tops, I don't know, Gladys Knight and the Pips. I love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you see the documentary? It's probably 5 or 6 years ago now on Motown.
Yes.
The fact that they have footage of they're literally in the room discussing whether a song like Ain't No Mountain High is going to be a hit or not.
Yes.
That documentary blew me away.
I absolutely love it. And then you add it to the fact that I love country, I love hip hop, I love top 40. I'm if you were to go on my phone, you'd be alarmed at what you were saying. It's just a melting pot.
I have Metallica right next to Barry Manilow on my phone. So.
The best time is when you go to Nashville because you hit it all. When you're just walking.
Have you ever been to Detroit? Did you ever go to the Motown Museum up there? No.
Detroit, no.
Huh, that's awesome. I love Motown. I just They have a whole Motown station on Sirius XM now that I listen to. What is your favorite hobby? So when Bridget has a Saturday afternoon all by herself and she gets to do something, what do you do?
I don't know what I do on Saturday afternoons. I used to do a lot of coaching. I used to coach much more than I am now, but I am in my free time. I'm a high school cheer coach. Can you tell?
Go team.
Go team. Go West Haven. But so I do a lot of that. I have grandchildren, and they are the light of my lives. I'm their BB, so I wouldn't say they're my hobby, but they are everything I want to do in my free time. Is if I can get 5 minutes with them, that is what I'm going to do. And I'm probably going to be singing them a song I made up, because BB sings songs to her grandbabies. There's
a comedian, Brian Regan, who does this very funny bit about cheerleaders and football players. And he says, you think it's ever happened that like the football team is out on the field and they're in the huddle, and off in the distance they hear the cheerleaders going, defense, defense, and the coach is like, guys, I think the gals got it.
I think they know what they're doing.
I think we need defense.
I'm very involved in the game. I just want you to know I became a cheer coach because I am a huge sports fan.
So is your cheer team like these competitive where they're doing 1,000 backflips and
we are competitive
off the pyramid and all that stuff? Break your neck kind of cheerleading.
Let's do it. My team, they know we show up to show out. We don't just come to cheer. We come to put on a show and get everyone involved. And
I see these videos where these guys are just holding up the girl with one arm on her one foot. And I'm like,
it's amazing.
That guy is very strong, and that girl has great balance, and it's amazing, because I couldn't do either. I couldn't do either one of those parts.
Yes, it can get a little scary, but we practice a lot. We put a lot of hours in, and people are surprised, but cheerleaders are very athletic. They're very conditioned, and people are like, oh, it's just cheerleading. No, we throw bodies up in the air and catch them.
Well, I think that's right. There's the cheerleading that are just the pom-poms on the side, the defense and all the bits, the pom-poms on the side, the defense and all the bits. Then there's the competitive cheerleading that you're talking about. That's like the insane backflips off the pyramid, kind of tossing 30 feet in the air kind of stuff.
That is what we do.
Yeah.
That is what we love.
I say insane with all the love and affection. It
is. We go all out. You hear us from the parking lot. You're like, oh, that must be Coach B. So it's Bridget, BB, and Coach B. Those are my 3 names.
Nice. That's awesome. Cookies, brownies, or ice cream?
I would say I like ice cream with cookies and brownies. No.
Not allowed.
Not allowed. Let me tell you, I do love a really good brownie. I like a fudgy mix with I like the top and the edges overdone. And then it just being really fudgy is the best thing.
I'm with you. I like a little crispy edge, but fudgy in the middle. Yeah, that's. And I find I am a baker at home. I bake everything from scratch except brownies.
I don't think I've forgotten anything from you before.
So I used to bring in a lot of baked goods to work, but when I got a cat, I can no longer guarantee that there's not cat hair in my cookies and cakes and stuff. But brownies are the one thing I still use a box for, because I cannot find a home recipe as good as a Ghirardelli boxed brownie.
Let's go.
Yeah. Last question on 5 unrelated questions. Who was your favorite teacher in school and why?
Who was my favorite teacher in school? That's funny. I'm trying to think. Mr. D was probably my favorite teacher in school. He was my high school social studies teacher. I was a huge fan of social studies, and he was really funny and engaging, and he made it fun, and he allowed us to talk and, get involved in it. And I think at that young age, you don't want to just sit there and listen. He's probably one of the first teachers that didn't just stand there and lecture at you. And I'm just not a fan of that type of learning. I like to be engaged and ask questions and pushed, to think about things. And he was that. And again, he was funny. And I like that. I like to laugh.
Yeah. So I've never answered this question because nobody's asked me, but it would also be my high school social studies teacher, history teacher. Like, changed my life. Yeah, I just, Mr. D, is he still around or?
No, that was 10 years ago. No, that was a long time ago. My gosh, how long have I been out? Oh, I've almost been out of school 40 years. Almost.
I'm almost at 30. So
yes. It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, that's it with the 5 unrelated questions. And that's it for our show today. We've been talking to Bridget Hosky, who is the Director of Customer Care at the Regional Water Authority, and we've heard all about her thoughts on customer care and customer service and, how we're doing, and we actually want to know how our customers think we're doing. And if I would ask our listeners to take one thing away from today's conversation, it's that if you do have an issue with your water service, you have a question, give us a call. We have professionals on standby to take your call, investigate what's going on, and give you the resolution that you want on what's going on. So give us a call. We're right in New Haven. You can even stop by. Bridget's got agents who will come down and talk to you. We're here for you. That's our job. It's what we're good at. So this has been another edition of Liquid Lunch with the Regional Water Authority, and today we did learn all about customer service and customer care at the Regional Water Authority. If you missed any portion of today's show, you can always watch or listen to us on the podcast or on YouTube, New Haven Independence YouTube page. And we will close the show like we always do by grabbing a big old glass of tap water and having a toast to good health and good hydration. Until our next show.